My product page creation strategy when it comes to Google Ads has just become simpler than what I used to use in 2022. But there are 3 different phases to the perfect product page when it comes to Google Ads. And obviously, if you have even a little bit of experience with Google, you know that a product page is like an ad copy with Google Ads. Because I mean, if you think about it, we necessarily don't really have an ad copy per se that we advertise with Google Ads. So at the end of the day, it comes down to the product and the perceived value of the product, as well as the product page itself, which determines the ad copy. So with any different product page, there's 3 different steps you need to take. The first step is what you do with the product itself, meaning the perceived value of the product and how it appears on, say, shopping ads. Number 2 is the actual product page, meaning what a customer sees right when they land on your page, the overall style, experience, so on and so forth. Number 3, the after effects of that product page and that landing page. So how does your product page make a customer feel after they have left your website and they may be thinking about purchasing from you? Is it a good experience or is it a bad experience they're leaving with? So let's start off with the first thing, which is of course the most important, the perceived value of the product. And here's my legendary example of 3D printer. So the perfect product page has to do with the perceived value of the product itself that is getting advertised. So in essence, whatever I see here is the first step which determines if I will even land on the product page itself or not. And of course, if you are doing things correctly, this product image right here, this product title, this price, so on and so forth, should directly be relevant to what a customer sees right when they land on your landing page. So essentially, it should be the exact same. So when it comes to choosing a product image for your product that goes on shopping ads, you need to make sure that you are focusing on nothing else except doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Here's exactly what I mean. So right here, we can see every single one of our competitors has a white background image. There is no sort of kind of discrepancy within this niche or for this keyword specifically, because every single one of them is a white background. If you want to do something different, if you want your product page, at least the first step of your product page to be different, that is when you come in and you basically enter with the intention in mind of doing the opposite of everybody else. So if it were for me, if I were selling a 3D printer, my first step would be to just have a real lifestyle background image for my product. Doesn't matter which 3D printer I'm selling. It could be this white colored one or it could be this black and yellow colored one. The main thing is that the image that I'm displaying here, or which is on my landing page, is different from these and is appearing with real lifestyle image. So if I had the opportunity, I would take images of my product, maybe set it on grass or maybe set it on a wooden tabletop with a very nice white background or something that just helps me stand out of the crowd. That is one of the simplest ways to make your landing pages convert and to make the best kind of landing page for Google Ads. Number 2, very self-explanatory, a search engine optimized product title. Now, obviously, if your SEO title is very big, you want to have a different title here on the shopping ad side of things than what you have on the landing page. And this is doable with an app like Simprocess, where you can tell Google exactly what product title you want, and it only makes that appear on the shopping ad side of things. But then when they go onto your actual landing page, the title is completely different. But you want to make sure that both the titles here are not too different from each other. So for example, if this title right here said Original Prusa i3 MK3S 3D printer, you want to make sure that the title here is not something like yellow banana or a green colored pineapple or something like that, because these two are very irrelevant from each other. If there is no sort of relevancy between your actual ad, which is the first step of your landing page, and the actual landing page, then you're gonna have a very high bounce rate. You're gonna have a lot of people leaving. So here, this brand did it very good. What they did is they had the keyword 3D printer here within the shopping ad, but when we went onto the landing page, we see that there is no mention of 3D printer here, just the branded search term, which is just the brand's name itself along with the product title. So this brand is keeping it very simple, very straightforward, the perfect strategy when it comes to the first phase of the perfect landing page. Let's move on now to the second phase, which is the actual landing page. when somebody lands on your landing page, there are a few things they should not be doing. Number one, they should not be scrambling to figure out how much the product costs or where they can click the add to cart button or the buy now button. Number two, they should not be confused about what the product is, mainly through the images or through the description. Number three, they should be able to look at different kinds of reviews coming up and have some of their questions answered via the reviews, because let's face it, 2023 and onwards, nobody's gonna buy your product if they don't see a review. That's just the name of the game. So you gotta make sure these three things you are following. Number one, making sure they're not scrambling to see the important information. Number two, they're not feeling confused after reading the description, after looking at the image. Number three, they have some of their questions answered via the reviews. These three things, if you do them perfectly, you are gonna have the landing page that is gonna convert like crazy with Google Ads. But one thing I wanna cover in this video is actually AI, using AI, artificial intelligence, to make your landing pages, because the name of the game is AI in 2023 and onwards, and ChatGPT here is the perfect tool you want to be using to craft your descriptions. Now, I've actually had some of my clients under my Google Ads agency, Your Marketing, start using this little AI software to write their descriptions, and I think this is the best idea ever. Here's exactly why. So instead of spending hours and hours crafting the perfect descriptions, I think it's the best idea to make a description for any new product on your website which has not necessarily gotten results via this AI software, and insert search engine optimized keywords within the description yourself. So essentially, the only job you should be doing in the beginning is just inserting those SEO keywords, because once that product starts to sell, and trust me, even with an artificially created description, if the product has value, if the product has demand, and you played all of your cards right with the product image, with the product pricing, all sorts of things like that, it should start to get some results. That's when you go in and create a custom crafted description, because otherwise it is, in my opinion, a completely waste of time, because this AI software, it has become very smart and it can do that very well on its own. So you don't necessarily need to be writing your descriptions anymore. This software will do it for you. And then once you get results, you can then go in and write the descriptions yourself. But this brings us to the third and final phase of a perfectly created landing page for Google Ads, and that is, how does the overall experience of your landing page make the customer feel after they have exited? Because one of the biggest foundations of a successful Google ad is, do they want to even come back to search for, number one, your brand name, or number two, your product, after they have exited for whatever reason? Because what you will notice is 80 to 90% of your customers don't make their decisions on the first go. They like to come back, they like to look at their competitors, they like to look at your brand name by typing in reviews after they type in your brand's name right here, all sorts of these things. So you need to make sure that whatever experience that your customer has with your website after they've exited, it's a positive one. And the way to do that is, number one, making sure your website is fast. Number two, your website does not have any 404 link errors, so no sorts of broken pages or any of those things. But also, number three, when somebody clicks on any types of buttons on your website, they are taken to the correct pages, because a lot of e-commerce websites nowadays, what they like to do is they like to have these random pop-ups coming up, taking them to all sorts of these other links which has nothing to do with the product they clicked on, and this makes them a little bit frustrated, simply because they had no intention of going on that page in the first place. They had come onto your website to look at the product they were originally interested in. So the after experience of every single product page, extremely crucial for the success and longevity of your e-commerce brand. But again, if you're doing $40,000 or more per month in revenue and you need more help scaling with Google Ads, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and book a free call with me to see how we can possibly work together and make that happen. But watch any of these two videos right in front of my face to take your brand to the next level.